Alright then, good evening folks and welcome to round 2 of season 8 IRC Championship. This is tier 2 and I'm your commentator for tonight in Moto, and joined with me is Kaake. Kaake, how are you doing?
I'm fine, man. All good. And of course, beloved streamer for tonight will be harryrox. Hi, Harry.
Hello.
Yup. So tonight we move on to Portimao. It's one of the new circuits which has been added to the game. A circuit which is definitely a very challenging, very mechanical, and with a lot of elevation changes. It's one of the most challenging circuits to just get it down. What do you say about it, Kake?
Yeah, definitely. It's literally a roller coaster of a circuit. And of course, a few tricky corners where, exiting, you might lose traction. And of course, turn 4, the notorious turn 4, where you just go uphill just before the DRS section. So, yeah, lots of tricky stuff around this track. As you mentioned, lots of mechanical grip required. And hope drivers do not suffer with skill issue because this is a track which requires lots of it.
Absolutely, and not only is it the traction, it's the blind corners as well, which is turn 10 and turn 8 and all. So very challenging, and we could be seeing few incidents and whatnot. But I think we should move on to the track map, and we'll go on from there. Alright, then Portimao, 15 corners and 4.6 kilometers long. Two DRS zones on this very challenging circuit, as we said before. A lot of heavy traction dependent zones and a lot of mechanical downforce dependent zones as well. And it really is a roller coaster of a circuit, as Kaka had mentioned before. And we should be moving on to the Hotlap very soon. And welcome on board a lap of the Portimao International Circuit here in Portugal. Now heading to turn 1, you want to be on the left hand side. Watch out for the 75-meter mark on the left. Using all the curve on the entry and carrying as much minimum apex speed as you can, swing the car in. For turn 2, you want to take a late apex and then get a good exit and balance the car with the throttle on this uphill turn 4. Now open DRS on the left hand side there. Now braking at the 100-meter board for turn 5. You want to take an early apex, turn in earlier than you think. Balance the car with the throttle on the exit. Turn 6, just a kink. Turn 7, a slight downshift and a lift off the throttle. Turn 8, also known as the Samsung corner. Very hard, very tricky to get the power down here. Make sure you balance the car with the throttle. Turn 9, just a kink again. Turn 10, the Portimao corner. You want to brake just at the Portugal sign on the left. Take a late apex, carry the speed through the exit. And for turn 11, you want to just take a flat out left. For turn 12, use the camber on the track to turn the car in. For turn 13, you want to brake just as the curb starts on the left. Take an early apex and get a slingshot exit onto turn 14. 15 and 16 are all flat. You want to keep to the right hand side to minimize distance travel to the line, and that completes a lap of this very wonderful of a roller coaster circuit of Portimao. Yeah, and we're back, and yeah, back to the circuit. It's I mean, I don't know if it might be raining. I think Portugal gets a lot of rain in the game, and at least in the game, there's a high prospect of rain as well on the circuit, from what we've heard. But like Kake, what do you think is going to be the most challenging task for the drivers? I'd say like keeping it on track itself is going to be up there because the track limits are also so stringent on the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. The track limits, if even if you just, go with four wheels on that white line, you are just gonna get a track infringement warning. And that's really, really harsh on this track. Plus, there's many corners where you would want to, you would be feeling like, okay, I can accelerate now, I can floor it, but then you just run a little bit wide, and that you might ruin your quali lap and whatnot. And of course, if the weather conditions turn out to be wet, it's going to be even more challenging for the drivers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like tire wear is also pretty big implications on the strategy. At least it plays a part because, interestingly enough, this is one of the few circuits where the alternate strategy is not that good. Like it's not quick or as OP as you would expect it to be, or as it is on other circuits. So we could see the drivers going to the normal soft medium strategy, but again, if weather has something to say about that, then obviously there'll be a change in that department. But I think we should be going on to the lobby now, and as the drivers are gearing up for qualifying, and it's wet for
Right.
qualifying.
Yeah. Yep. A wet qualifying and a sunny race seems so. Oof. But yeah, gonna be challenging qualifying right here.
Yeah, so in real life, the rain acts as a great equalizer because it removes that engine advantage which certain teams have. But in the game, I'd say it does the opposite because it really separates the drivers who are very have a lot of throttle discipline from the drivers who don't. And we could see a lot of like a huge gulf in lap times in this qualifying session. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, indeed. Of course, this game we are using equal performance for all cars, so it's now up to the driver's skill how they perform right here.
yeah, absolutely. And coming off back of Austria, we had the AlphaTauri of Aditya winning, I think, on a
Right.
very
Yeah.
bold medium soft strategy, if I'm not wrong. Or was it a medium soft medium soft because of a safety car? And he made
Yeah.
those
Yeah. Two
softs
stops.
last at least 18 laps.
Yep.
So that could definitely be coming into play with the tire saving and all, because this track is very abrasive and very cruel to the tires. It's a very punishing circuit in that department because
Uh,
of the plenty traction zones we were talking about. But yeah, Kake, what do you think these drivers are going to try and do on their qualifying, on their banker laps? Do you think they'll be pushing or taking it easy?
should be taking it easy. You don't want to, like we saw Paris in Austria, losing it in qualifying and just DNFing. Although this is a pretty wide track, not much where you can just go into the walls. But still, it's really important that they set a lap at least because otherwise, starting last here in I mean, the race will be sunny, but still starting last here is not the best option.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though the track is, I mean, look at the start finish straight. You can see how wide that is. That can be like six cars going side by side through that.
Yeah,
But even then, it's not that wide at all parts of the circuit. And overtaking here is actually quite challenging because you have these two very traction dependent zones before the DRS detection, which is here, which is the uphill turn 4. So it's kind of hard to follow through and get the overtake done. So, and then you have the last corner, which leads on to the start finish straight, which there's the first DRS zone. And
yeah,
that corner also, it turns to from understeer to oversteer, and then you get dirty air on the exit as well. So all in all, it's not as easy to overtake on this circuit if you don't have a very clear pace advantage. And turn 8 already acting up on some drivers, as we see the Red Bull of Abi getting a bit squiggly on the exit there.
yes, turn 8, turn 10, turn 4, lots, and yeah, that's
Yeah, turn 11
turn
just
11,
after the
12. Yep,
Portimao corner. Yep.
yep, all these turns are really hard, even in the dry, let alone, controlling it in the wets. But of course, what actually might help them is that they will be going a lot slower through these corners, so they might be able to stick it, but still, it's really challenging out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems Streeter's in a purple sector too, who is on the controller, and the controller does have a very big advantage in the rain because of the throttle. And speaking of throttle, I think Heisenberg or one of the McLarens over there getting a bit too happy on par. But Streeter is on a good lap here, as I think Abhi set at 26.8 as a banker, which is not bad, but the track will definitely be ramping up.
Yeah, true. And Streeter sets a 27-1, and it's like we have noticed for the past few seasons, Streeter likes to do that, banks the lap on intermediate tires to just warm up a bit. But yeah, right. Even in the dries, but with wets, it's just like a normal playground for him.
Yeah, it seems he likes those inters, and he will certainly be ramping up the lap times in a bit. But yeah, it seems that these drivers are just like trying to get a
Oh, we
feel for the
saw someone
conditions.
spun there.
Yeah, one of the Mercs stranded
Yeah.
there. I think if he doesn't get a move on, there's a danger of him getting disqualified because ooh, and okay, I think he's kept it on track, but he goes offline there. I think that might be an
Yep.
invalidation. A lot of cars going off here.
Yeah, finding some space to join back. And yeah, of course, you don't want to ruin the exit out of these sequence of last corners. because losing any time out of the exit will massively hamper your time on this back on the main straight.
Absolutely, it's very important because another thing that we forgot to mention is on in the wets, what F1 drivers in real life as well, what they generally tend to do is do consecutive laps to get a feel of the track and the grip levels. And oh, yeah, the McLaren of Heisenberg getting colliding with the barrier there. But yeah, they do consecutive laps to get a feel of the track. And as Street has shown, he's just done his second flying lap and he's gone fastest by 4 tenths.
Yes, that's Heisenberg with his front wing gone, but yeah, he's lucky that he has not DNF'd. He'd still get a chance to get back to the pits and get a new set of wings and go again.
Yeah, and uh, I think that part of the track is one of the few places where the walls are actually quite close, and you have actually might suffer if you spin and go off track. But otherwise, it's a very lot of runoff is available, as you can see here. There's so much space on the left and right, but that part of the circuit is certainly treacherous if you go off track.
Yep, as we see, AlphaBot is so far on provisional pole with a time of 126.3. And I believe the Mercs are about to start their hot lap as well.
Yeah, that's a very good time from the Red Bull driver who unfortunately did DNF in the last race due to some incidents with the other drivers. But again, both the Red Bulls are looking very rapid here as Abhi pips AlphaBot to provisional pole by just a bit more than a tenth, I think that is, and both
Yeah.
the Red Bulls, akin to real life, are looking good in the wet.
Yes, indeed. And we saw AlphaBot, did not finish last race around, so he'll be looking to make amends for that. Abhi had a decent race, and of course, Aditya in the Alpha Tauri was the winner who's yet to set a lap, beat a banker or, fast lap. But yeah, we'll see few times, a few people putting in some faster times.
Though speaking of which, it's interesting that Aditya's not gone out because on the forecast we did see that it is going to dry out in qualifying. So
Yep.
maybe he doesn't want to do the laps in the wets because he doesn't want to get used to these grip levels and so he can push more in the dry. Maybe that could be at play there, or maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a strategy, but it's really risky because it's going to be like literally end of the qualifying where the track will start to dry up a bit. So for anyone banking on that, that's a risky move. And as we see, Freeman gets the pole position at 26.15.
Yeah, very good lap time from the Williams driver there. And oh, there's a
Oof.
nice Tokyo drift. Is he gonna crash with the
Oh no,
McLaren?
no, yes, he
I
does.
think he
This
does
is
with the McLaren. I don't know. It
yeah.
seemed like a concrete block there rather than a car. It didn't move at all.
Yeah, the McLaren didn't budge, it just went on like nothing happened.
But we can see that from the telemetry, he's got some damage to his wing, and that seems to have fixed itself. Or maybe no.
Yeah, that
We
might
have moved
be.
to another driver,
Yeah,
so yeah.
yeah,
I think we were on Freeman, and he seems to have. Oh, there you go. He does have a left
yellow
front
front
yellow
wing.
wing.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's Freeman who has the damage and not the
Yeah,
McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that end plate is gone.
Yeah, I mean, certainly he did hit the Ferrari in the rear from what we saw, but
Yeah,
no, I mean, I don't think he would care much about that. He's already set a pretty competitive lap time, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming back to the pits to just take a chill now and wait for the dry weather if it ever arrives.
yes, indeed. And we are onward Streeter, who is in sector 3, just rounding off, just starting sector 3. My bad,
Oh.
sector 2.
Yeah, and he's 600ths off P1 sector 1 split, like personal best sector 1 split, and he will be pushing this lap. Let's see how it goes. He takes turn 9, turn 10. This is Portimao corner, blind right hander. Was a bit wide, misses the apex by quite a lot, but he lost 5 milliseconds there, and it seems this is not going to be overthrowing P1 unless it's going to be a very fast final sector.
Moto, I
Yes,
just
he
wanted
has
to
to.
confirm: is turn 11 actually called Portimao corner?
Yeah, turn 10, sorry, is called Portimao. It's the braking for that right-hander.
Right.
So
Oof,
it,
and straight to
ooh,
loses it.
and
Uh,
I mean, it's a good place he lost it
yeah,
over there, so you can just instantly hop on into the pits and act like nothing ever happened.
yeah, he was on his two personal best sectors, but yeah, lost it. And
Ooh,
what?
I think that might have been a reset to track, but since it's qualifying, I don't think it's report worthy. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think he might have had a spin there as he comes into the pits.
Yeah, looks like it. Even in last race in Austria, we saw Shawshank doing a rapid return, reset to track. I remember during middle of the
Almost,
race.
almost
Yes,
Yeah,
used ACC language over there. RTG.
yes,
return
yeah,
garage. Yeah. No, but like coming back, ooh, as we see RB cutting quite a bit of the track there, that
that,
wouldn't even have gained him lap time, but he comes into the
yeah.
pits. But going back to the infamous Portimao corner, it's very nice that it's called the Portimao corner because it's one of the corners which is like unique to this circuit. It's a blind right-hander, so not only do you not see the apex when you're braking for it, but you're also braking and turning in at the same time. So there's so many factors that acting in play in that corner, which and it's only deserving that it's going to be called the Portimao corner because it's a corner which is very unique and unique to this track.
Yes, lots of unique corners nonetheless for this circuit. And yeah, as we have talked about it numerous times already, a really challenging track. And we have seen a few Spinalas already out of these, and of course, a Ferrari as well. Uh, so yeah, it's
It
let's see.
traditions.
Yep.
But yeah, it seems the track. I don't know. Could we go on board, Harry, to see if it's raining as heavily as it was before? It seems the track is drying up a bit. There's a dry line forming as Jack there goes for a spin. He hit the sausage curb into turn one, and you do not want to be doing that, let alone in the wet, not even in the dry. Should you be touching that curb at that speed? But yeah, it seems that the track is drying up slowly, and we could see some faster lap times soon.
Yeah, and that's the sliding bit. Uh, he's still suffering from the wet lines, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to mention is we've seen a return of an old driver in Tier 2 and
Yes.
Crazy Joe, who's come back to race with us here. So it's great to have him back. And we shall see how he performs. And I think he's still very new to the game. So he could be a bit off the pace, but he was very fast, at least on the keyboard. I remember he was one of the fastest in that input device. So we'll be seeing how he's going to perform tonight.
He's still on the keyboard, I
Yes.
believe.
Oh, that's very impressive. On circuit like this, that's for me that would be torture, but certainly he
And
has other
we have a
ideas.
retirement, boys. It's two cars
Oh,
over
it's
there.
Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Williams of Freeman has seemed to have retired from the session. Did he go off somewhere, Harry, or like is it has he just retired from the session?
No, there was an offing between two drivers, it looked like, because the Williams of Freeman and Kimrai
Kimrai.
were together on track, I think, into turn three, exit of turn three, and now one of the drivers has been disqualified while the other has been
Oh.
um, retired.
Yeah, I can see it says Kimra has been DSQ'd from the session. So, wow, the stewards will definitely be having a look at that incident. And apologies, I think the stream hasn't caught it, but yeah, I think there seemed to have been an offing between those two drivers, and Freeman will not be getting a chance to set another lap time.
Yes, as
Depends on if they have dry weather or dry conditions or not. It, it looks like they might have just enough time for one lap. I'm not really sure, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in all of this kerfuffle, it seems that Meerkat Initiate has taken provisional pole with a 126.0. Pretty competitive lap time from the Alpine driver. Yeah, the Alpine
yep.
driver. And yeah, that's he's shown a lot of pace, especially last season when he joined very late. He had a lot of pace, but he had some aggression issues and consistency issues. And hopefully, I think he's ironed those out for this season.
Yes, and as the proceedings are so far, Meerkat initiate on the pole with a 126.0, followed by Freeman, who of course won't be setting another lap. Then Street is there with a 126.2, improved by 3 tenths on his previous best lap. And then Alphabot with an impressive showing right now, just 5 thousandths of a second behind Streeter. And then followed by his teammate Abhi in the other Red Bull. Then we have Shawshank in the second Ferrari, 126.3 in sixth position, who seems to be. Wait, as I wait for the telemetry to update, but yeah, he seems to be on a flying lap.
Yeah,
No,
I
he'll be
think
beginning
he's
his
on a
flying lap.
now I think he's going on to his flying lap.
Right.
So apparently I don't think it might be drying out then, because there are only 2 minutes left and there's still the rain is still falling and the track looks still looks very wet. So I think these drivers will be setting their laps on the inter tires only as Streeter goes for 25.9, a very nice lap time from the Ferrari driver.
That's a nice time. Yeah, let's see how his teammate racks up. And that's Alphabot, I think, coming in.
Ooh, as Jack goes P1 with a 25.7. It's a great lap time by almost 2 tenths there.
Yes, the Mercedes pace coming to the fore with his teammate Arby's on rounding off the top 10 in 10th position currently. Let's see if he can go about setting another rapid time to get that second Mercedes up there.
It seems he's made a mistake on this lap, as I think the telemetry might not have updated for the lap, but yeah, I think he made a mistake and he goes wide, but it's not
Wide.
invalidated from the track map, as you can see. So he's going to still keep pushing. Takes a late apex or turn 2. Want to be so careful, and the throttle goes very wide.
That's definitely
And
invalidation. Yeah,
that definitely has been invalidated. So yeah, you can see that even in these conditions, the track limits are just like so hard to get used to. As the Red Bull of Abhi goes provisional pole with a 25.7, very close between P1 and P2 there. Wow, I think the track is just ramping up there.
Yeah, that track evolution we all talk about, and of course we can see a slight bit of dry line forming, if my eyes don't deceive me, or maybe they are, so never mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's still pretty much wet, and of course as some
Ooh, that's the
that's
Red Bull of Alphabot absolutely binning it there, and his front wheel has come off, and yeah, I don't think he's going to be going out again, and that's it for the Red Bull driver.
yeah, that's that for his qualifying. A 126 flat for him so far. He is in P4.
Very
Let's see if
satisfying lap time, so I'll give him
that's
that.
true. Let's see if anyone upsurges him, and he might get pushed out of the top 5.
So Heisenberg is on the lap. He's up on his sector one time and taking a very strange line through turn 8 there. Going to the right hand side. Maybe he was looking for the damp part of the track to cool down his tires, but over here missing the apex by a lot and still managing to keep it on track a little bit, squiggly on the exit of turn 11, but again misses the apex. I don't think this is going to be a very competitive lap time, because he hasn't been quite on it.
The Shawshank is on AI, and that just ruins me.
Oh wow!
Heisenberg's lap, bruh.
As Meerkat Initiate goes pole with a 25.5 there by 2 tenths. What a lap from the Alpine driver.
I'm not sure about Shashank's situation. It looked like his current ghost, and he had a cross next to his name, so it could have been a desync issue, and only on my screen specifically. It might not be a case for Heisenberg, so I'm not really sure what would have happened over there. Just trying to put it out there.
Yep.
All right. And that's qualifying it for you tonight, folks. And it seems we've had a very interesting qualifying session. The Alpine of Meerkat Initiate takes pole position with a blistering lap time of a 25.5, followed by the Red Bull of Abhi, who's just a tenth and a bit behind. Jack in P3, Streeter P4, Alphabot P5, Freeman in P6, Faizan again up there in the midfield with P7, P8, P9, P10, Paras, Shawshank, and BK19 round off your top 10. So, what do you think? I think notably RB is out of the top 10 there, very unlike him. And from the incidents, we can see there's a DNF and DSQ there for the two drivers we were talking about. But yeah, Kake, RB is out of the top 10. How do you think he's going to approach this race now?
Yeah, Abhi has really nice race pace overall in the wets we saw in some other leagues as well in his highlights he posts. But yeah, let's see that top 10. I mean, with a dry race, he will have the chance of, sort of going something off the normal and going for something that might help him in the longer run, not immediately in the starting laps. But yeah, let's see. I'm not saying that alternate strategy might be the best here as we discussed earlier. But yeah, let's see if he pulls out the rabbit out of the hat.
Just
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
just to ruffle up your memory, it's a dry race, boys, and
Yep,
everyone's on
yep.
fresh tires right now because of
Yeah,
quali being
yeah,
wet.
yeah, we got that. But it'll be interesting to see what tires the drivers choose, as even though the alternate isn't that fast over here in the overall race stint, the soft tire, even if you do the medium soft tires will still be like absolutely rapid on the second stint for at least I think 8 or 9 laps, and then they very quickly die out.
Yeah.
So we never know if if some drivers will be using that as an opportunity to quickly make their way up the field using the medium soft, but then they will be struggling towards the end of this soft stint at the last 2 laps, because the tires will be off the cliff. But yeah, we'll have a look at the tire strategies, and again a dry race, so free tires for everyone, and yeah.
Yes, true. And of course, this being a clockwise circuit, it's especially really, really nasty on your left side tires with, turn 14, 15, and turn 1, 2, all being these fast parabolic kind of left-handers. So, of course, that's also the zones where you end up on the main DRS straight. So, really important to preserve those soft tires as well. If you like go out and out, I don't think, as you mentioned, Moto, they are gonna last more than 10 laps on optimum pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing to note here is mm, DRS is crucial if you want to recover ERS, because without DRS, you will be using that ERS even if you don't activate your overtake button. And because this track doesn't have any very hard braking zones apart from I think the hairpin of turn 5,
Yep.
it's like literally impossible to regenerate that DRS. So drivers will be looking to stick with the DRS of the car, stick within 1 second of the car head at all costs to regenerate that ERS and make sure they can use it later on to overtake.
Yes, that's really true. Also, the two detection zones being just before the final turn for the main straight and between turns 3 and 4 for the second DRS straight leading up to turn 5. So, yeah, as we are on, yeah, we are green for the formation lap.
And we can go to the tires, and it seems very few people, as I thought, have opted for the mediums. In fact, only 5 drivers, which are Shawshank, BK, RB, and Crazy Joe and Kemrai. So again, yeah, they probably are vouching on the fact that they will be absolutely on it on the soft stint and try to get the moves done and get up the grid as quickly as possible, and then just defend for their lives towards the end of the soft stints. But it seems everyone has gone with the normal soft medium strategy. But again, one thing we haven't spoken about is the prospect of a safety car. While it's
Yeah,
not that high on a circuit like this with so much runoff, it still is league racing, and safety cars have been quite common in IRC in the past races. So as I think Shawshank's car is still
a bit,
disconnected,
yeah.
yeah, acting as a moving chicane for the Aston Martin of SSJ Assassin, who has gone ABS off recently. So maybe that's what explains as he just shoves his way past the Ferrari of Shawshank there.
Um, Again, I think it might be very funny for us and for the stream because there'll be a lot of wheel banging between Shawshank and everyone else on my screen. I'm not sure if it is really happening in lobby or for the drivers that we see. See, look at that. They're going to be shoving each other every
Yeah.
time. So Shashank must
Yeah.
be either if it's really happening, then Shashank's the only one who's going to be suffering with being pushed around like a football at max.
Yeah. Which is interesting because I think last race also he had some connectivity problems, so he might need to get his connection or his ISP sorted out. As again, we
Yeah,
can see
it's like
Crazy Shaw just
everyone's
pushing
really,
him
yeah.
across the track there, telling him, "Hey, get a move on! What are you doing?" And he just goes past in AlphaTauri as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming back to what I was saying, I think SSG Assassin has recently gone ABS off, so maybe that could explain his lack of pace tonight. Otherwise, we know he's a very quick driver, and he almost won the championship on the Tier 2020 season, which was held last season. Uh, uh, so we know he has the pace, but he's getting used to these new to the lack of these assists. So maybe that's why he's going to be a bit off, but he's still quick. So yep, one lights, two lights, three lights, four lights, five lights, and lights out, and away we go. A relatively clean getaway for our drivers. The Alpino Meerkat initiate getting a good start, but the Red Bull of RB getting a great start as well. And he pushes him off the track there into turn one. That might be a bit too aggressive. As a couple of drivers taking the runoff on the right, left side there, and I can see a spun Ferrari. I think that's Shawshank only.
Yep. Yeah, that
L-
Shawshank also earned himself a drive-through right at the start. Might be some decent issue probably, but yeah. Oh, as we
Ooh,
see,
be-
BK19 breaking way too late,
and sending it and
almost. Yeah.
sort of sticking it in there. And even though that was aggressive, I think the fact that he's held his car is pretty impressive. So yeah, we saw this from the start. Abhi and Meerkat got a great start. In fact, Abhi got a very good start, and he pushed Meerkat initiate wide there. So I don't know, Kake. What do you think? Was that too aggressive, or was that just lap one aggression there?
I think that was a slap on aggression because you saw like many cars behind them also going really wide into turn one and two.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
And yeah,
Avi has already almost gained a 1 second, and that's crazy. Joe losing it on the traction zone, and that's
yeah.
Shawshank hitting him in the back.
And Crazy Joe has lost out a lot of time to the cars ahead, and maybe he hasn't practiced enough for this circuit. And you can't do this circuit without any practice or any prior knowledge to it because it's so taxing on the drivers on how safe they are on this track. As ooh, I think the McLaren just sent it there, but
Yeah.
he misses braking zone by quite a few meters, and he's going for
And
the
he
switchback,
spins. And
and
he
he
spins. Bro,
and
there's too
Meerkat
much happening.
initiate has fallen back quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Mika
really
fell
sorry.
back.
I'm really sorry
No,
about that.
no issues. It's just that there's too much stuff happening. Can't really blame you. But yeah, both the McLarens were involved in quite some action right there. Unleashed missing his braking points in turn one, then spinning out of, when exiting turn two. And then Heisenberg also had some incident with Meerkat, I believe, who had lost some positions, but is, gained a couple of them and is in now up to P11.
Absolutely, and Abhi has pulled away a huge. Now he's got a huge gap to the car behind him in Streeter, 2.2 seconds, and that's crucial because now he can he can try and conserve his ERS, which will still be very hard. But he doesn't need to push that hard right now because
Yep.
he's not in DRS, and that's very crucial for Abhi to just relax it to his own race now. But further down the order, we can see from the positions gained and lost that Faizan again, a very clean start. He's a veteran now of this game and clearly shows that he's up into the podium positions already. So it's a great start for him.
Yes, both Faizan and Paras gaining 4 positions each. And RB Farello, we were talking about him, and he's up to P6 as well. Some of the massive gainers we have had, Mikat being the one who lost lots of positions, started P1 and is down to P9 now. He was down to P13 at one point.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And Meerkat will be kicking himself. I think we might have missed it, but I think he might have lost traction out of one of the corners because there was no car next to him, and he
yeah,
was just he was a bit ahead of the car in P3. But anyways, whatever's done is done, and we can see that Abhi has just pulled away quite a bit. And Paras, who did win last season's championship, has also gained quite a few places at the start. So that's good to see. The guy is racing on a mobile phone after all.
Yes, he is sort of one in a million right here in our league. Probably the only one who races on a mobile phone.
And still be
And
so competitive. As
yep,
Paras gets a penalty there, which is, yeah, it will affect him, but obviously he'll be a bit more careful now. As
ooh, what?
I think Shawshank is having a
Yeah.
lot of connectivity problems.
Yeah, I feel like that was a bit getting
Yeah.
affected for sure. We saw that in turn when he was shoved all around all over turn one. But now you just saw how he glitched onto the track, and I think Faizan did react to that a bit.
Yeah, and he's lost a bit of time to the Alpine behind, and both of these drivers have 3 seconds of penalty, so they are fighting for position right now. And it seems so far, Kake, that Paras has the superior pace out of these two drivers here.
Yeah, looks like it. Plus, talking about the penalties, of course, we are just 4 laps in, and we have had multiple drivers with 3-second penalties already. So that's how harsh this track is in terms of track infringements. And now between the about the battle between Paras and Faizan, Paras definitely seems to have a bit more pace compared to Faizan, and the upcoming DRS zone will provide him a great chance to climb up into the podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems that Paras is just like sticking here, saving his battery. I think he might have gotten a warning for that. He
Yeah,
went a bit off track, but he's just staying here, and he just needs to stick within DRS, and he can slowly claw away at that gap. And he doesn't need to push that much because, again, as you mentioned, the DRS is very powerful here because the circuit is the air is very thin here. We're quite high up, so the DRS is even more powerful than usual.
yeah. Fazan, I believe, is using quite some of his ERS to stay ahead of him. Yep,
Yeah,
down to
evidently he's
24.
down to 20. Yep. As Paras just trying to dummy Faizan into a mistake there, and Freeman in the Williams has caught up quite a bit to these two guys as well, so he can be sniffing at an opportunity to overtake both of them.
Yep, the third coach in the DRS train right now, Freeman, and that main straight will provide lots of opportunity to him, with him being on 84, 83% ERS. And as we
Ooh, as Aditya sends it down the inside of turn two there. What a move. But BK is going to stick it in there, turn four, and pushes in wide, sort of. And he's got DRS as well. But Aditya is
nicely
activating his
done.
ERS and goes down the inside. And okay, he just cuts him off there. And fair enough, he did have the inside line, but
Yeah, did
BK
leave
won't be too
enough
happy about that.
space
Yeah.
for him as well right there. Just about a car width right there.
Ooh,
But
as
yeah,
BK touches the inside curve, you do not want to be doing that at all. And he's nearly lost control of his car there. Speaking
and
of which,
that's yeah.
SSJ Assassin has certainly lost control of his car as he's found himself in the pastures on the grass there. But again, we can see that the soft tires are like still so rapid. Yeah, this is why the auto strategy is not that good because these soft tires have a pace advantage for a lot of laps, and you can
Yeah,
see that RBs can't stick with Freeman there.
true. And what we probably missed is that Unleash and Jacklet Ford have both gone on hard tires. Probably
Ooh, that's
some damage in the starting laps, and they have decided
oh,
to
as Aditya has retired from the session on the start from the
damn.
straight there.
That's a safety car right
And the
there.
safety cars been deployed as well. Oh, there's a lot of debris on
Ooh,
the track, tell
yeah,
you what.
right there on the pit exit.
Interesting to know what would have happened there. I think he might have had an offing with the car, or maybe his input device has died on him. I don't know what quite has happened there, but this really equalizes the field right now, and those hard runners will be kicking themselves because
Yeah,
they are just they can pit again. They're already at the back, but if I were them, I would certainly pit. And Abhi's pitting for a fresh set of tires, and Street has chosen to stay out.
Faizan coming in as well. But yeah, the previous race winner is the first casualty of this amazing circuit, Portimao. And let's
Yeah,
see.
it's not
And
what he would expect tonight after coming off from a win at Austria.
Yeah,
did
true, and
Aditya,
that's
but
yep. And people going with mixed strategies. We have Abhi, Faiz, and Freeman going on the mediums, and Meekat and Heisenberg going on the hards.
interesting, very interesting. Those mediums will definitely not last till the end.
Yeah,
But tell you what, those hards will also be quite knackered by the end. So these guys can do a medium softs and still come out ahead. Because the hard tires over here are horrible. Because on a track like this where there's so many traction zones, you really need softest compound possible.
right. And Streeter taking, deciding to stay out along with Paras, Abi, and Alphabot. Abi being the exception on medium tires. So let's see how that turns out for him. Alphabot will be fancying his chances straight away on the restart.
Absolutely. And uh, uh, I think the soft tires, even if they're like 6 laps old, they'll still be faster than the fresh mediums right now, or probably equal to, if I'm not wrong. But soon after, they will start showing their wear. And as I think the Ferrari spun around. Yep, it's Shawshank again.
Yeah, he was just tagged out of the track by one of the Red Bulls. So I
Oh,
think
he needs to get back on track. Tell you what, if he doesn't, he's going to get disqualified for
Yeah,
going the wrong way. Because the game does do that to you if you're on the green, on the grass for too long. But yeah, not quite the race the Ferrari driver was expecting.
and as we said that, I think Faizan must have gotten a, yeah, I think he got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So I'm guessing somewhere there was in a situation where the drivers went side by side, and that illegal overtake issue must have
Ooh,
presented itself to Faizan. Let's look at
that's
the penalties
unfortunate.
once.
Yeah. Yep, you're right, Harry. He does have 8 seconds, so 3 of those 8 seconds is a corner cut, and the 5 seconds is the yellow flag scenario, which he will, if he makes a pit stop, he will lose 5 seconds from the penalties he has right now. But yeah, still, he wouldn't want that.
yeah. As we see drivers bunching up, waiting for a few of them to come back and join the queue. Once they have done that, we'll be back to green flag conditions, back to racing. Shawshank still, I mean, can't really say what's going on with him, but yeah, that's unfortunate, whatever is happening.
BK, sorry, Crazy Joe, who had an abysmal start, has found himself in the points now, but he does have that penalty looming over him. But still, considering that awful start, he'll be happy to be back in the points there.
Yes, indeed, he's coming back after a nice long break, and an impressive showing is in order from him.
Yeah, as BK also confused as to what this Ferrari is doing, if he can even see him in game. I don't think he can. Yep,
Uh,
right there.
yeah, wait,
Oh my
I
god.
think.
I'm on this only for content, boys. I'm telling you now itself. I'm going around Shawshank in these situations where there's no racing to just see how he's getting whacked around.
It seems as if the drivers aren't being affected by Shawshank, but Shawshank is being affected by each and every one of them.
He'll
I
probably be
mean,
screaming in VC if he is right now as to what these guys are doing, racing with a bunch of amateurs, as Alonso would say, getting pushed around the circuit, bullied around on the safety car, which has been going on for quite a while now. I think we might get the restart on this lap as the drivers do gear up and they are going weaving from left to right to keep the temperature up. Again, another thing we forgot to mention is that the tire temps are quite hard to manage here, especially later on in the stint, especially in the third sector when you're braking and turning very often. And that last turn 15, when you're that flat out right hander, but the front left absolutely like heats up to no end because of the speed you carry through that corner. So these
Yeah.
drivers will be heating up their tires, but not too much as to when they push after the safety car restart, they face overheating problems. As you go into a nice UI free camera, you can see the game and the
Ye-
track in all its
Yep.
glory. As it's a
Yep.
beautiful
To all
shot
the
there.
to all the viewers, grab your screenshots right now.
Yeah, that's a great angle. You can see from this angle how insane this track is. It just goes from up to down to up to down.
Yeah, the elevation changes are just maddening, breathtaking for a spectator, quite challenging for the drivers.
I tell you what, it's quite fun when you actually like can hook up a lap and keep it on track on the circuit. It's a very satisfying circuit to drive on with the
Yeah,
camber and the elevation changes, as you mentioned, Kake. But yeah,
yeah, I've driven few laps in these F1 cars, and of course, we have talked about, I think, n number of times now. The traction zones are really tricky, and I think we should be back to racing conditions now. And yes,
yup. Streeter has got a great start, but so has Arby, who's gone side by side already with Paras. And is he going to go for the move? No, he chooses to sit back. Those mediums aren't quite to temperature, and both the Red Bulls are going side by side through turn ones and two. And the Red Bull on the harder compound has come out in front.
yeah, that would be Abhi, I think, who pitted for
Yeah,
the harder
yeah.
tires because Alpha Bot had stayed out. And yeah, Abi was really aggressive on the start, didn't get the
Ooh,
position. As we see,
PK.
BK19 in a contact with, I believe, was Crazy Joe into turn 5 and loses out. Keeps it on the track, not a major loss for him.
Yeah, it's BK's looking very feisty this race. He's going for dive bombs where you can't make a move, and Crazy Joe again on traction over there. He suffered quite a bit. Look how many he's dropped 2 positions to the cars behind him out of turn 8. That is.
Yeah, I think he might be letting back the position to someone. I think, sorry, BK19 himself. But
Yeah, probably might
yeah,
not have left him enough space and has gone for the sportsmanship route and let him by. But it seems Abhi has got the pace on Abhi here, and these two drivers, if you remember, Kake, did come together in Austria where it was
yeah,
Abhi attacking, and now it's
yep.
well, sorry, where it was RB attacking. Now it's Abhi who's doing the attacking. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, no DRS for a couple of laps, so the ERS usage might be a bit high to retain and maintain position. But yeah, Abhi on the fresher medium tires compared to Abhi Farello. And
Ooh, it seems
yes,
Shawshank has retired from the session, so
yes,
he's taken. Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That could be a penalty incoming for him because that is looked down upon when you retire on track. It does cause a safety car or VSC sometimes. But yeah, coming back to this battle, it seems Abhi, who's got the fresher rubber, can't quite keep up with RB here through the traction zones, which is pretty surprising.
Backlet Fort has pit again after the safety car restart. Might have had some damage maybe because he has now pit for a fresh set of softs instead of the hards he was on earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems he might have had an incident or two at the safety car restart where everyone must have been jostling for position. But coming on back to this battle, Abi has closed that gap in Sector 3 to 4 tenths now. But Abi is going to have DRS on Pars ahead of him, which could actually be helping him because even if those tires are like on the verge of going off the cliff, well, not quite going off the cliff, but like are more worn than the driver behind him. That DRS is a lifeline to him because he has that extra straight line which is keeping him ahead.
Right. Yep, and Paris and Street are also, sort of coming to the end of their soft tire stint. Of course, a couple of laps under the safety car, so not much before they
Yeah.
also have to pit in.
Yeah, normally the pit window for soft medium is around lap 13, but I think because of the safety car, it might be lap 15, 16 now,
Yep.
which can actually help Streeter. He might be able to do the one stop without that cliff thing we talked about, Kake, where you have the mediums dying on the last 2 laps. So Streeter has actually played this quite smart, and so has Paras.
Yeah, that's true because if you look at everyone behind them, they are on at least 3 to 4 lap old mediums already. So both Para, Streeter, and also Alphabot currently in fifth. If they stretch it out for 3 4 more laps, they might make it to the end with one stopping on the mediums.
Yeah, and a bit of a weaving going on here as Abi tries to go for the move on Paras. Is he going to send it around the outside? I think Paras is just letting him go, or he's going defensive. And Abi goes to the switch back and he executes it with perfection there. What a move.
Yeah, Paris just ran a bit wide out of turn one, and that gave enough space to Abi Farello to just go on the inside and get a move.
And
And looks like Abi is also planning a move on Paris, and he is ahead of him. Will
it,
Paris go around the outside? He tries to, but yeah, loses out, and that's two positions lost for Paris in a matter of couple of corners.
yeah, and I think Paris's tires are crying for help right now. I think they might have aged quite a lot. We can see from the telemetry there they're quite
Yeah.
worn.
So yeah, lots of close driving right now going on throughout the grid. Of course, only a couple of laps since the safety car restart, and we should be getting DRS, I believe, this lap onwards. It's been 2 laps now.
Yep, and no, I think the DRS is already enabled there. We saw Abhi and
Yeah,
RB
yeah,
use
yeah.
it.
Yep.
So Faizan, who's in P7 on the fresh mediums, is getting hunted by Heisenberg, who's surprising in the hards and still keeping pace, which is surprising as Abhi on those fresh mediums has sailed past Abhi Ferrello there, and he will be looking to charge straighter now.
Yeah, and he will want to get as close to street as possible on those fresher mediums because he wants to gain a lasting advantage. Because I think Streeter will be the one with the upper hand once he pits.
Ooh, and RB breaking quite late there and losing out of the exit, as you can see. But no, he still got a decent exit. But again, yeah, you don't want to be breaking too late into that because that hairpin is very deceptively tight. So you want to break
Yes.
early and put a lot of lock on the wheel and then turn it. So yeah. But moving on, it seems the gaps have sort of equalized here. And Kake, what do you think? Do you think Abi is going to take these set of mediums till the end, or is he going to make us another dash with the soft tires at the end of the race?
I think he'll have to make a dash because already 6 laps in and 20 more laps to go. I doubt he'll stretch it that much.
Yeah, they can. The
Yeah.
mediums can do 20 to 24 laps, but 26 laps might be just a lap too many unless he just goes
Yeah,
into tire conservation mode and loses out on a lot
yep,
of lap
and
time.
that's Alpha Bot, the soft runner going into the pits now.
Yeah, he's just keeping and holding on to his normal strategy, which is a lap 14 pit window, and yep, he's gone for the mediums, and now I'm pretty sure he won't be making another pit stop unless there's a safety car, of course. But
Yeah. And I think Street still has decent advantage still out of that DRS zone against Abhi. And as we see SSJ Assassin and Meekat going side by side, SSJ just pips him into the turn 5 hairpin and
yeah,
gets the
those
position.
mediums, even if they're 12 laps old, they have more grip than those hards right now. The hards
Yeah.
on this track are like very abysmal. And SSG Assassin loses it on the precarious turn 8.
Damn, all that work just to spin out. That
Oof.
won't really please him. He might be
Yeah.
shouting.
Turn 8 is, as we've spoken about this before, the race and the quali start. Turn 8 is one corner to look out, as it will prove to be one of the most challenging corners as SSG Assassin. I'm pretty sure his tires are
Yeah, hitting way too
absolutely
hard.
blazing right now. Yep. And those fronts are also dying, right? You can see from the telemetry.
Heisenberg star? Yeah, that's
No,
still
that's, yeah,
SSJ star. Yeah,
yeah.
Heisenberg star, fine.
I mean, if those tires were this cooked, those hearts were this cooked by this point, I'd be wondering if he was actually driving or just doing burnouts.
It's a nice little DRS train, midfield P6 to P8.
Seems
And after.
Heisenberg and Meerkat Initiate have found themselves in a Alfa Romeo sandwich as Crazy Joe has suffered another spin. Those hards are just not working for him, and he's quite a way off the field, 14 seconds away from Jack there, and I think he's still getting a grip of the game and the track as well. But yeah, those hards again, as we said, they don't have a lot of grip, so you have to be very careful on the tires.
Yeah, and that's Kimrai ghosted for some reason.
He is not in the lobby since the race start, boys. His
Aha,
AI
alright.
seems to be doing a pretty decent job. P9.
Yeah, he's battling with these guys on the medium tires, not bad.
But it does throw you off, seeing a car right there, even if it's ghosted. You just sort of that, reflex action is there. You just yank the wheel to avoid that car.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, Meerkat.
Ooh, ahead it seems Paras has
Man.
made a pit stop from those 16-lap-old dying softs.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see if AlphaBot does undercut him here by quite a lot. And it seems Paras is still in the pits, and AlphaBot. Oh, he's quite far back. I'll tell you what AlphaBot is. He's lost out
Yeah,
massively
he's
on.
really far back. He's
Yeah.
just rounding off the final corner onto the main straight. And that, I think, is,
Ooh,
as you
as
see,
Faizan sends it down the inside here on Heisenberg. Sort of squeezes him, but Heisenberg on those fresh set of tires gets a better. Well, actually, both of them are equally worn, and
yep.
surprised how Heisenberg's out tractioned him. Faizan has gone for a send where it should not be possible, but wisely backs out last second.
Yeah, he's like almost out of ERS right now at this point, Faizan. Just,
Yeah,
trying
he
to
isn't
hope to be
getting
in
that
that
ERS
ERS.
back if
Yeah.
unless it's a VSC or a SC. That ERS is going to remain at that level now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
an
tell you what,
aggressive AI.
Kimrai's AI has bundles of pace here, and he's got the pace on Faizan as well.
I
Yep.
hope it is his AI because it's made 3 places now in the span of a few laps. And if it
Yeah.
is just his car not being very much in sync and he's ghosting next to every other car, then yeah, he's gonna make many
Yeah,
moves.
that I don't think that's an AI because an AI wouldn't so aggressively go out.
Yeah, so I
He's gone
I
offline there as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll be having a look at and confirming if it's actually him or not. And yep, that's certainly not his AI because he's just
Yeah.
spun around.
Yep. That's
There's
not
your
AI.
confirmation, lads.
He's
But
still
yeah,
ghosted though. Huh, interesting.
I think he might have turned on collisions off by some hacks or something. But further up the field, it seems RB, surprisingly, as I mentioned, is still sticking within DRS, which is a lifeline on the circuit with the little to no ERS regeneration. And what's interesting is how he's sticking so close to Abi. I think Abi might have sustained some damage because this is actually really surprising how RB on those worn tires is sticking so close to him. As he takes a very wide
Yeah.
line, does Abi.
Meanwhile, like the streeter on 17 old, yeah, he's in the pits now. But yeah, I was about to say that even on 17 old soft, 17 laps old soft tires, he was maintaining a constant gap about 1.3, 1.2 seconds to Abhi.
Yeah. And, I think, yeah. It seems RB has got bundles of pace here because even on 18 lap old mediums, he's just chilling behind Abi, who's on 7 lap fresher tires.
Yep, and streeter comes out ahead of Paras as well. Yeah. So, sort of, what should I say? Overcutting is working out really nice for these
Yeah,
soft to medium guys.
Streeter has got the overcut done, and Streeter does look like the probable race winner. He's got bundles of pace, and yeah, he's not got a penalty as well. So
Yeah, and just 15, 14, 15 laps to go. Those mediums will last comfortably for him till the end of the race.
yeah, absolutely. But now you can see that Abhi is just a little bit itching away, and he's got out of DRS. But is that before? Yeah, that's before the. No, but he's used the DRS to get back in, so he's going to still get the
Yep,
DRS
he
and stick
has
to
the
the back.
DRS.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Like as long as you have the DRS, you can just do your own race and just stay within DRS, and you'll be on similar pace as the leaders in front. As Meerkat initiate on those 12 lap old hards, has gone past Heisenberg, who's on similar tires, so it's a good overtake considering both of them are on equally worn tires. As yeah,
Yeah, true, because I think out of all these drivers, it would be Heisenberg and Meerkat only who can sort of challenge Streeter, Paras, and Alpha Watt towards the end. But still, it's hard ask on them because these hard tires, as you mentioned, Moto, really struggle overall, I believe, not just
Yeah,
towards the
yep,
end. Overall, they
yep,
struggle a lot.
yep. But one thing you can do with the hards is you can increase the tire pressures if you're going for the soft hards, because they won't be overheating as much as the mediums and softs. So you can have that extra straight line, which is quite integral on a circuit like this. But even then, the hards aren't very worth it. The circuit and streeter should be catching up to the pack of the cars in front. But going on to this battle at the back, we can see Jack on those 8 lap old mediums. As the telemetry does update, not very worn, but he's sticking to Alphabot, even though he's on 4 lap freshest medium tires.
Yeah,
Ooh,
using
as
that.
RB has made
Ooh,
the stop to softs.
damn, that's interesting. Or is that a mistake? Probably he
No,
just saw Streeter going
No,
70
no, no.
laps.
that's his
Those
first
softs
pit.
can make.
That's his
Yep.
first pit stop, boys.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, no,
right.
we know that. But those
Yeah.
softs will be rapid now, but towards the end, as you mentioned, they will be crying for help. So RB has gone for a very aggressive undercut over here of sorts. That is if RB decides to pit, as we can see Jack barging his way through Alphabot. And yeah, it seems Alphabot hasn't put in that much time on this track, because even on fresher tires, he can't quite pull away from Jack.
Yeah, we saw Streeter and Paras doing 17 and 16 laps on the soft tires, albeit considering a couple of them were on under the safety car. But still, I think 14 laps to go. RB can make that strategy work.
Yeah, absolutely. And Streeter has shown a lot of consistency in the last race as well. I think he just got very unlucky with internet issues, but over here he's showing what he's capable of, and he's showing his true pace, and we can see him like absolutely like I think he's in the winning position for. He's in the front seat for winning the race, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Freeman also pitting in probably for a fresh set of softs as well. And as we see Street going for a move on
Just yeah,
Unleashed, does it really easily. And on Kimra as well, who
who
seems to
was
be
defensive,
defending.
but he is
Yeah.
ghosted, so Streeter wouldn't care about that. And Kimura goes very wide there, and I'm pretty sure he got a warning for that. Streeter just taking his time. He's going to get another bite at the cherry with the DRS zone coming up. And yeah, this is going to be a simple DRS pass. He doesn't even need to go to the side, but he still does. Maybe you know what? These drivers aren't ghosted for. The Kimura is not ghosted for these drivers, but maybe only for the stream. So yeah, that could explain a lot of things.
Yeah, that very well might be the case, just like we saw with Shawshank. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a clean overtake by Streeter, not abusing any of the ghosting we see on Kimrai, and does it legally, nicely on the track, not going wide or anything. And he is up to P5 now.
Yeah, and so is RB Ferrello making a charge on those fresh softs, and
He has come out
Heisenberg
of.
and Meerkat are still very close to each other. Those guys on equally worn tires, and they're just doing their own race. So this is a good battle to look out for in the future, because I don't think these guys will be making another stop.
Yeah, and also RB has come right ahead out of Paras and Freeman. Sorry, Paras. Yeah, Alphabot. Where's Alphabot? Oh,
Alphabot is
he's on the
still
P12.
down in
Yeah.
P12, and he can't quite keep up with Jack
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, he's ahead of Paras. Freeman just behind Paras. So Freeman in a spot of Paras in a spot of bother right now, being sandwiched between fresh set of soft tires, guys.
Ooh, as Faizan goes for the fastest lap on those fresh softs, he's down in P13 right now, but he will be looking to make the charge on those soft tires, and surely he's been taking that fastest lap point away as well. But I think RB is going to snatch it back here, as he's gone purple in sector 1, and he's catching Kimrai very rapidly, and catching Streeter as well quite rapidly.
Yeah, and Faizan has just over. Faizan and BK19 seem to be fighting. If we can go on with them, they seem
Ooh,
to be.
as Faizan has pushed BK off the track, but BK is still ahead. Is he going to push Faizan wide now? And Faizan just
Ooh,
breaks that much later
yeah.
and gets the move done. Wow, was a good battle.
Yeah, decent indeed. They are still really close with PK19 would probably getting the advantage of DRS now, coming on to the final turn. Coming up to the final sequence of turns.
As I think RB has sailed past Kimrai on those fresh set of soft tires, and he'll be looking to attack Streeter as well now.
Yeah, lots of actions going on up the grid in middle
Ooh,
of
he
the
goes
grid and
very wide
ooh,
there.
yeah,
Missing his
can
braking. He's got the softs on, but he doesn't have that much grip to break that late.
yeah, and that will also sort of you know cause his tires to degrade further, locking up
Yep.
if he did, and just exerting those extra forces on tires won't be helping his cause.
Yeah, absolutely. But tell you what, RB can take those softs till the end, and he'll be the fastest driver on track right now, unless Freeman can also put up the same lap times. But RB will be taking those soft tires till the end, and he'll be easily getting past Streeter in a couple of laps or so, a couple of corners, I'd say actually. In fact, he's gonna get in on the DRS straight, start finish straight right now. As Freeman, who's also pitted for the softs, is just hounding the rear diffuser of Paris, using very interesting lines to get a good run out of this last braking zone, and flat out turn 15, sticking to the inside, and he just sails past him.
Even before the TRS
Yep,
starts, he
he'll
is
be
just
happy with
past
that.
him already. Yeah,
And save his ERS that way as well.
yep. And he can now defend from Paris in the upcoming DRS zone.
I think that'll be pretty easy because yeah,
Yeah,
you can see how much he's pulled away on that very traction heavy turn 4. He's pulled away like 4 tenths there, and yeah, RB is very close to Streeter right now, and Streeter, who was looking to be winning, in my opinion, now has to defend.
oh
Oh,
no,
that's Faizan,
Faizan.
and
Oof.
ooh, that yeah, I think that's on Faizan there. He might have missed his breaking
Yeah,
point, and he's going very wide. He might have damage. If he could go on board, I think he might have suffered some damage to his left end plate. But
yeah, it was
yeah,
a bit of
yeah,
lemon green sort of left front wing for him, and
yeah.
yeah, a bit of
That's
damage for
easily
Faizan.
8 tenths of lap time right
Yeah,
there. As you can see, BK is already so close to him. So if I were Faizan, I would just let him pass. But moving on to RB here, and he's really closed up to the back of straight. Is he going to go for the move right now? I think he might just. Okay, he's not using his ERS, so he's just counting on the DRS. But will he send it here as Freeman takes the fastest lap? No, but he waits for the second DRS zone, and which is smart because you don't want to be wasting that ERS at all here.
yeah, true. Plus, Streeter is a wily old player. He will be knowing what to do, what not to do as he goes
Goes
on the defensive
defensive
line.
very early. Yep. Will he be squeezing RB on the exit here? Yeah. Oh wow,
Oh, that's brilliant
that's
by
yeah.
Streeter.
Very good defense there by Streeter. Uh, Taking after Alonso in his defensive driving is I think it's his favorite driver. But
Yes.
yeah, I don't think he can put up that much of a fight for that long. But whatever he's doing right now will be helping him further on into the race because those soft tires will be struggling.
Yeah, we would want to dispatch him as soon as possible, but Streeter is not gonna give up without any fight, and he is parking the car like at every apex and just defending like a lion.
Yep, and now RB is spamming a bit of his ERS right now, and he's closed up quite a bit. And now he's like, okay, I know Streeter is going to defend again very hard, so I'm going to get him past on the straight as well. And I think yeah, it's a bit too much of an overspeed for Streeter to defend against that, and he just sails past him.
Yeah, should be the move done, but look at the ERS Streeter has, and if he gets a nice
Oh,
exit
Streeter
there,
has a
he'll be
lot
dumping
of
it.
ERS. Tell you what, he's conserved that brilliantly throughout this race.
Still not using it though. Just the usual ERS down, but yeah, he is still holding on to it.
I think he's just counting on the fact those softs will be dying at the latter stages of the stint, and he'll be spamming all that ERS and getting the move done then.
Yeah, true. But hope he stays within 1 second till around, 4 laps more just before we come to the final laps. He should be within that 1 second gap
Ooh,
to have an advantage.
yeah, he's still looking very quick here, Streeter. He's still keeping up even on the harder compound tire right now. And it seems Streeter has got a huge pace advantage on RB, if I'm honest.
Looks like so, and with him getting DRS right now, that gap won't be increasing, that's for sure.
Yeah, will he use some of his ERs here? No, he chooses to just stick in the DRS. But will he go for the move? He does go for the move. So
That's
he's posing a pretty big problem here in the way of RB, because RB will be kicking himself for not pushing that much right now, because he needs to get past and sail away on those while he has that tire advantage, because that advantage will soon, slowly and surely be dying in a couple of laps.
Yeah, each lap he's behind Streeter, that's his chances of winning diminishing by that much scale. And yeah, the tires are sort of starting to go into that yellowish orangish zone as you see in the telemetry, and we
Who
see
was
SSJ
SSJ
with another
Assassin?
spin.
Yeah, out of turn one, that's interesting, because not a very traction heavy zone, because you carry a lot of speed through there. But I think, uh, oh, he's got some damage. I tell you what, to his left hand plate there.
Yep. Yeah, and that's missing.
As RB is just sticking to the back of Streeter, and I'm not sure if RB is gonna just keep on with this, or is he gonna like just stick with the DRS and then go for a move and just surprise Streeter after a few laps when Streeter thinks that he's not going for a move? But we'll have to wait and watch, I guess.
Yeah, as Streeter goes defensive, takes the inside line, and once again keeps himself ahead of Abi Farello. He is doing it brilliantly at the moment, isn't he, Streeter?
Yeah, Streeter is parking that car, that Ferrari, in all the right places, and certainly defending like a lion as courting Alonso. And it's a great, great drive from the Ferrari driver right now.
Yeah, and that's Abi briefly using his ERS as we see Jacklet Ford passing BK19 on the main straight with the help of DRS. And yeah, back to Abi and Streeter, the ongoing battle for the victory, I would say. But yeah, let's not discount the people ahead of them. Heisenberg and Meerkat initiate. They are in their sight now. But let's see how quickly these two guys catch up to those hard runners.
Yeah, only 4 more laps to go, folks, and Streeter needs to and all in all, this battle is hampering his pace, because he can't quite catch up that quick enough to the drivers in front of him. And catching up is one thing, as we know, and overtaking as well is another thing. As RB again, they have swapped position, which is, I think this is the 100th time or so they've swapped
Yeah.
position. And these two guys should be focusing on the drivers ahead if they want to get back to the podium places, because as of now, none of them are going to finish on the podium.
Yeah, that's true. I believe Meerkat has 3 seconds of time penalty. If we can switch to that, Harry.
Ooh,
Oh,
9
9
seconds.
seconds.
So yeah, one of these drivers is guaranteed a place on the podium. Ooh, that's quite diminishing to Meerkat's race, isn't it? The 9 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, true. Plus, he'll be like,
Crazy Joe sitting at 19 seconds of penalties right there.
damn. It's like rubbing salt into the wounds for Meerkat. Initiate, lost out that pole position. Sorry, got the pole position, lost it all on the first lap. And now, when he has sort of done a recovery drive after P2, he's, having
Yeah.
that 9-second penalty looming over him.
Yep, absolutely. But now it seems that RB has gone on with it. In fact, both these drivers have, and they're catching Heisenberg at a rate of naught.
Yeah, and it's now Streeter with the DRS back on Abi Farello.
So RB will be very lucky that he has got DRS as well, but Streeter
Yeah.
has that ERS advantage, and I think he might not be deploying right now, because he can also see that McLaren in front, and he'll probably be counting on the tire wear to kick in the next lap. I think it should kick in, where I think it's already kicked in, because he's suffering on the exit there.
Yeah, Abi meanwhile leading the race in the Red Bull on 23 lap all softs.
Ooh,
That's
that front left is looking very
yeah,
cooked
sketchy.
right there, yeah.
Couple of more laps for him though, and a healthy 3-second gap. He has maintained that for the past
Ooh,
couple of laps.
as our telemetry is just updated, it looks very, very
Yeah.
cooked actually.
Ooh.
Can probably fry a couple of eggs on that tire.
Yes, easily. He will be soon sort of entering that puncher territory, I believe.
Yep.
Streeter seems to have
The
had an offing somewhere. Sorry to interrupt y'all, but Streeter
Oh
seems to
yeah.
have had an offing
Yeah,
somewhere, and he's dropped a lot of time to RB and Heisenberg.
Ooh, that
yeah,
is very unfortunate for Streeter, as he'll be looking to claw his way back now. But now RB stars aren't looking all too well, but they aren't looking all too bad either, which is impressive considering he's done 9 laps in them, and he's probably been pushing for all those 9 laps, trying to catch up back. And he goes past Heisenberg here, and yeah, I think it's just one more lap to go. I think Meerkat Initiate will not be finishing on the podium. Yep, it'll be Abhi, RB, and Heisenberg will be the finishing order of the podium if it finishes this way.
yeah.
But
Streeter would need to do a mega job and probably dump all that ARS now
yeah,
and
he's got
just
just
get
one.
to
He got
Heisenberg.
2 more laps to catch up, or 1.5 rather, to make up that 1.4 seconds to Heisenberg, who's on 24 lap old hards. Could we go on board and see that tire wear on those hard tires? He seems to have not turned
Mm,
on his
yeah,
telemetry, Heisenberg. But yeah, those
that's,
I'll tell you what, those tires will be quite cooked right now, and Streeter's already on it. He's gained a
yeah,
lot of
he
time on him.
has closed in by 8 tenths over this past lap already, Streeter.
he'll he'll be begging, like he'll be pushing so hard in these last 2 corners for the DRS, and he's gotten within DRS zone right now. And crucially, Heisenberg has gotten out of DRS, so he won't be able to defend that well either.
Yes, that's true. Yep, he is out of the DRS zone on RB Ferrello, and that should give Streeter a lot of advantage as well. Dumping that
He's
DRS,
Yup.
employing that
And
DRS.
Heisenberg's out.
Yeah,
He should see that red flashing light and keep
yeah,
a cool head and go for this overtake on the second DRS zone. Uh, but Heisenberg will be defending as hard as possible. He already goes defensive there, trying to slow down on the apex, take a wider line, get a good exit out of turn 4. But so does Streeter, and he's got the DRS and he's got the ERS. He goes to the outside, and does he sail past his Heisenberg? Send it. He tries to,
he
but he
tried
doesn't have the
to.
grip,
Oof.
and
Yeah,
Streeter gets the move done on the last lap.
yeah, that should be podium confirmed for both RB and Streeter. But I think,
Absolutely. And could we go on board Abhi actually once if we can see his tires? Because, yeah, I think the telemetry will update in a second or so, because pretty sure those tires are way more cooked than that.
yeah, with so much action going on behind him, we haven't given him as much screen time as he deserved,
Yeah,
probably.
he's
But
had a very
yeah,
dominant drive, hasn't he? As Meerkat
that's true.
Initiate has finally closed in on him, but it's far too late. And he's got that penalty looming over. And Abhi does that celebratory weave, and he comes across the line to win the Portuguese Grand Prix. What a great drive from the Red Bull driver.
Yep, Meerkat goes P2 on track, but that 9-second penalty ensures that he goes down to
Drops down to
P5 now.
P5, yeah.
Yeah, and so that means it's RB and Streeter who will be getting the second and third positions respectively. And
And
Heisenberg.
yeah. Heisenberg, great drive from him. We haven't seen a lot of. He's new to the server, and last in Austria, I think he got a bit unlucky, but he's got a great haul of points over here in Portugal. He's kept his race clean, and it's a great drive from the McLaren driver. But yeah, driver of the day, I think for me, Kake has to be Abhi, because he's managed his race so well.
That's
And
indeed. I mean, of course, as I mentioned, it was the battle of Streeter and Avi which was giving us all the goosebumps. But yeah, Avi has just sort of slipped under the radar, did 26 laps on mediums, and has just won the race easily.
yeah, absolutely. And Faizan, who coming off a great haul of points in Austria, has finished out of the points and also behind his teammate. So a pretty disappointing race with both the alphas actually over there. And Freeman also P6, P7 is Paras, P8, AlphaBot, P9. Unleashed is rounding off your top 10. And wow, you can see Crazy Joe stars there, absolutely cooked as well. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
not a very eventful race as compared to Austria, but still a great race and good racing, good action through and through. And
yeah. The game also agreed with you right there. Albi Ferrello being the driver of the day for the game itself.
yeah, Though actually I'd called Abhi as
Sorry,
runner of
Abhi,
the
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. But yeah, Abhi like started out of the top 10,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
that's really a nice drive from him to get up to P2.
Yep, absolutely. You can see that. And overall, Kaki, you want to round off the finishing order here?
Yep, indeed, and that's as we have mentioned, Abhi with a brilliant drive finishing P1, followed by another brilliant drive by Abhi Farello in P2, and then Streeter coming in P3. Then we had the McLaren of Heisenberg P4, Mikat Initiate in the Alpine P5, followed by Freeman P6 and another Alpine Paras in P7. AlphaBot finishes P8, and then the second McLaren of Unleashed in P9. Then we had BK19 rounding off the top 10, and then the two Alfa Romeos, Kimrai and Faizan, P11 and 12. Then Jacklet Ford finishes P13. SSJ Assassin had a couple of spins, finishes P15. Then our returning driver, Crazy Joe, had a bit of hard time, finishes P15. Then, of course, we had the second Ferrari of Shawshank with some sync issues. And then Aditya, who DNF'd within the first 5 laps itself. So yeah, that's a finishing order for this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should shortly be having the podium interviews in a while as we await the podium finishes in the combox. But what is your thought? What are your thoughts in that race? Like, would it live up to your expectations? Because I think I expected a lot more action considering this is how crazy the circuit is. But still, all in all, a good race.
Yeah, action-wise, I think it was nice. I mean, we had some really nice action between sets of drivers, not really across the whole grid, but yeah, in the pairs of drivers, RB Streeter, then BK19 and SSJ for a brief moment, Faizan BK19 as well. So yeah, we had some decent battles, but not really sort of way too close overall. And of course, some interesting strategies coming out to the fore for our podium finishes.
Yep, absolutely. And I think we have the three podium finishes in the combox, at least two of them. And we should start off with Abhi, our race winner tonight. Abhi, congrats on the race win. You had a really dominant drive. Literally, no one challenged you, at least in the latter half of the race. How short were those tires by the end of it?
Thanks a lot. I'm glad, that I got this win. It's my second win, and yeah, my front left was at 80%. So it was. I was just scared. I don't that I was just hoping that I don't get a puncture. The other tires were 57, 58%. So it was just my front left that was worrying me. But I just towards the end, I started losing time to Meerkat. That's because I stopped pushing. I just tried to conserve as much as I could. I didn't want to get a puncture. So yeah, I'm glad with the win, and it was fun. I practiced a lot for this, and yeah, I'm just happy overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you with a short battle between RB and between RB as well. Coming off the back of Austria, where you both had an incident, what were your thoughts going into that short little battle you had?
Well, I I obviously wanted to keep it clean, so I didn't want to make any dive down the inside or outside. I just thought I'll get him on the DRS straight. So that's what I did, and I tried to keep him behind me, and I succeeded in doing that. So I just try to keep him out of my DRS. That wasn't possible, but I was just trying to gain a larger gap as we came to the main straight. So yeah, I just didn't want anything to be dirty, and I'm glad that it turned out to be very clean, and it didn't turn out to be like last time.
All right, yep. Great drive from you all in all. And Kaki, got any questions?
No, I mean, I'm just amazed with that 80% wear on those left fronts. I mean,
Yeah,
amazing job.
as you know, folks, after 75 is when the cliff hits in, and it's all RNG after that, whether you get a puncture or not. So, yeah, it's a very risky strategy, but he's made it work. And yeah, congrats, Abhi, on the drive.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, moving on to P2 in RB Ferrello. Another consistent drive from you. You've always managed to keep it very clean and at least on track. And you've got a podium again. And what you had a great battle with Streeter. So talk us through that battle. Like, what happened?
Uh, First of all, it was a good race. I can say I started from P11 and Podium is not bad. We will take this. Also, yeah, in the with the battle with Streeter, I just had to push, and because his second stint was on mediums and I was on softs, so
Yeah.
I was able to cover up a little bit on him. And then later on, it was just about managing the ERS and just trading places to catch the Haas ahead. I don't remember who it was, but yes, we were catching the Haas in P3, so we both managed to get podium out of it.
Yeah, and in that battle, I think we missed it on stream, but since we don't have Streeter, I don't think he can come for the interviews. What actually happened? He had an offing or something. I think he dropped back quite a bit.
I think he spun out of turn 8, so
Oh,
yeah,
turn it.
he lost
Yeah.
2 to 3 seconds there, but then he also managed to get the podium. So really happy for him as well.
Yeah, it was a great battle. You provided us with a great a snippet of entertainment in that very, very action-packed race that was. But yeah, Kaki, got any questions?
Just an amazing drive, Abhi. No questions as such, just that you made an interesting choice of strategy, of course, and sort of that overcut worked really well.
Yes, thank you. That was actually L plan, but in a Mercedes.
But
Yeah.
were you actually nervous that because Streeter was actually keeping up with you on mediums as well? Were you nervous, or did you just think that you will eventually outpace him?
No, because I had my initial stint on mediums. I knew the tires didn't had any pace, so I wasn't nervous at all. And as soon as we caught the Haas in P3, I made my I think it was a McLaren. Sorry, it was a
Yeah.
McLaren, and I made a pass. I turned 6. So yes, really wanted to overtake him in such a place so that Streeter would be behind him and lose some more time. So
Yeah.
that's what I planned.
Well played. Well played. And yeah, that's congrats to both you guys. Again, a great drive from both of you on this very challenging circuit. And I think
Thank you.
that's all for it tonight. Harry, I think we're done. And we go live tomorrow as well in the afternoon at 2:30 for our Tier 3 stream. Please do tune into that, and as well as Tier 1 at same time 8:30. So we've got that going on for tomorrow. Do follow us on our socials, which is on Instagram and Twitter, and you can join the server as well if you want to be part of this very large and very great community. And yep, that's IRC signing out for tonight. Good night.